Hey, what's up guys, it's Davis from ADRO, and today we have this beautiful 992.1 GT3 Porsche with a full ADRO carbon fiber body kit, and of course the BBS FRR Evos. And I could not help myself to explain to you our thoughts behind this car, because it looks pretty good on the photos, but in real life it's a different animal. And I'll explain to you why. So first thing I consider when I design the exterior of the car with the carbon fiber body kits, for me, number one is the silhouette, number two is a proportion, and number three is a proportion. So basically I'm talking about the same thing. It's about the silhouette, it's about the proportion. The reason why is because you see most of these cars not only just from the front or the side, but the silhouette takes so much portion of the car. If the silhouette is nice, when the car's driving 80 miles per hour right past you, it looks beautiful. But if the silhouette doesn't look that great, it won't look as good as you intended. So I took so much care in making the silhouette and the proportion nice from the side view. And I want to explain to you how I try to achieve that. First of all, you might think the biggest difference is, yes, we have these fangs, we have these vertical fins in the front. It looks good in the front, but there's a big intention behind that. The intention is that it comes out from the side view. So not only there's two vertical fins that you see on the front, but if you come to the side, there's this beautiful angle coming from inside to the outboard, which this front lip that protrudes out at least about 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches, doesn't look that out of place anymore because these fins support the complete design, the complete silhouette. So these upper air ducts and this lower lip, it works together. So going back to the rear, how I want to explain to you about the side silhouette is this diffuser is not just a looking good diffuser. First of all, what we did was I wanted to challenge Scott of how much more we can come out from the traditional side view silhouette. So we achieved about 2 inches of more coming out of the diffuser in direction of X. And I think it gives way more aggression because what you're reading at the peak of the car is not here, but here. It gives a little bit of that chin effect on the rear. And by pulling out, it does not only look good, but we took careful attention to what's underneath. So this carbon fiber under panel doesn't only stop here, but it goes all the way to the rear axle of the car, where we designed the fins to get the optimal airflow. So in general, this car is achieving 30% more downforce with a very minimal increase in drag. And now let's talk about the wing. The wing is the part where I talked most with Scott. For me, the best silhouette of the wing is when the wing is more positioned backwards of the car. The reason is because it's a swan neck wing. And when you do a swan neck wing, you want the wing to position backwards so you get more angle here. Especially when the upright is more tall, you don't want the wing positioned right here so the upright is vertically straight. You want to give a little bit more angle. So it took a lot of time to refine where the wing should be positioned. And I think we found the optimal spot without sacrificing any aero and also looking fantastic. So that's a really good point. How do we not conflict the aero kits on a soft car like a Porsche? What I learned in OEM is, first, you got to look at the character of the car. In the history of 70 years of Porsche, all the cars were super round. They were never edgy. They had the most round surfacing that you could ever see in any other manufacturers. And how we approach that? What we did was we followed the exact same form language. For example, all the lines in the diffuser, you can see there's no edge. It's all soft. It has a lot of volume everywhere. Volume this way, volume that way, volume this way, volume that way. So we don't want to make an edgy kit on a soft car like this. We want to embrace the softness. That's why all of these carbon fiber kits don't look out of place. And I want to explain to you that in more details, talking about the side view. Now, if you look at just the photos, you might think this carbon fiber side skirt is not so different with the Porsche plastic OEM carbon fiber. But what we did was, what I really took care was, I didn't want to put like crazy fins there, make it protrude out like 5 inches or anything, but I embraced the original philosophy of the side skirt. What I did was, obviously we did come out a little bit like an inch than the OEM, so it has a little bit more aggressiveness, but we didn't want to take that aggressiveness overtake the elegance of the original car. So it has a little bit of aggressiveness, but it's still elegant. What I also took care is to make sure to end the edge right here, so that you see this beautiful fender go all the way towards the bottom. And I think that's like the sexiest part of Porsche, the rear fender. You don't want to break that by putting a huge line or a fin here and not embracing the original full rear fender that a Porsche has. So that was the whole approach. The difference between function and pure aesthetics is, as I explained to you before, the best form of aesthetics comes from function. Form follows function. I think that's the ultimate goal of the aesthetics in a car, because this car is a moving object, and it doesn't only move like 5 miles per hour, it sometimes moves 160 miles per hour. And when all the function is right for the car to move efficiently and faster, then the parts also look good. All I have to do is define the radius, define the plan shape, make the volume a little softer and rounder to make it look more appealing. But the best form of aesthetics for me comes from function. So the modern tools in this world help so much to get more efficiency in designing a car. For example, this car, when we developed this car, we had this car in Korea. And right now I'm in California. Scott is in Australia. So you're talking about 3 different continents where we constantly had to get feedback from each other. What's great about the modern tool is that when you create something in a 3D object, you're not talking about just sketch. You're not talking about, oh, should we make this line higher or lower? But what you can do with the 3D object is actually you can prove it. You can prove it through CFD data analysis, and then he can give me exactly an XYZ axis where this has to go, where this has to be longer, and then I can work to it, which creates so much more efficiency. Because if you think about it, 40 years ago, I would have to fly to Korea, Scott would have to fly to Korea, and we'll have to sit down all together, shave some clay off. Would this be enough? Scott will be like, oh, I don't know, but I'll check. So now, a process that could take over a year, we can reduce it into 3 to 4 to 5 months. So I think that's a big leap in the process of the whole design journey. So balancing the looks and the performance is the hardest thing to do in design, and at the same time, it's the easiest thing to do. And I'll explain to you why. Because I'll take an airplane, for example. You know, jet fighters, airplanes, were there any exterior designers designing that plane? I believe no. I mean, it's just like the best engineered piece of product that you can see out there. And nobody designed the lines of the planes or the jet fighters, but it looks amazing. And why is that? Because it's the most efficient and most aerodynamic form that people can find up to date. The same principle applies to cars, because this car, especially the Porsche, is designed to race on tracks and to get the best downforce and best efficiency. When the parts have high performance, it automatically looks pretty good to your eye. And all I had to do was first design the concept that I thought about and have Scott analyze, would this work or would this not work? And then he gave me feedback, and then we were working so close with each other for 3 months to get the best looking shape and the best performance out there. So this is first of many Porsche projects that ADRO is working on right now. Of course, I can't share all the details to you, but now we have worked on the Aero Kit, we are working on a bumper, and what would you think would be the next? So if you want to be part of the journey of what ADRO is planning, please don't forget to subscribe and hit a like and comment, and we will do our best to give you more content like this. Thank you.